Hello everybody. Sorry for the delay between videos. I'm going to speed things up a bit. I've got a lot of stuff to get through, but for now, accept my apologies again. And today we're going to talk a bit about this thing, the Lucky Rainbow Light. Got this off Wish, which is, sorry, not Wish, Geek, which is a sister company of Wish, the app that lets you buy stuff direct from China for dirt cheap if you're happy to wait a couple of weeks for delivery. Find it to be quite good. Almost, in fact, it's better than eBay in some respects. That being said, watch out for customs, because if you order multiple items in the same order, they'll give you one package and postage total for the whole order instead of the individual items. So when customs says you got to pay import duties on one of these items, they'll take into account the postage for all the items in your order, even though they came separately, because you can't break it down. That's unfortunate, so be careful there. So you might want to, if you do want to order from Wish or Geek, maybe individual orders for each individual item, whatever works for you. But anyway, let's move on to this. So what this is a rainbow projector for kids' bedroom, or perfect for nightstand or desk. So you can have it on your desk in your office as well, if you're that kind of person. Very long list of battery safety precautions. Usually it's like you get 2 or 3 things saying don't throw them in the rubbish and don't mix them, but this is like only adults should install and replace batteries. Switch toy off before opening battery compartment. Insert batteries correctly. Match positive and negative signs. Blah blah blah. But rechargeables are not recommended. Well, that's because rechargeable batteries are generally 1.2 volts, whereas alkalines are 1.5, so it might not work with that little slightly less voltage. And blah blah, and it goes, do not immerse battery operated toys in water, wipe clean only. And then there's some stuff about FCC compliance, which is probably a load of nonsense, because let's be honest and saying, did they really go to the bother of getting compliance? And I got CE, Rose, made in China, and do not view the light source directly. So let's have a look at it before I waffle on anymore. And this is it. Kind of looks like that bridge in Gateshead, the Millennium Bridge. Do you know the one I'm on about, the blinking eye? It was like if you want to see an interesting bridge design, check it out. It's the Millennium Bridge in Gateshead, England. So underneath, yeah, the batteries are open. My kids have been using this, and yes, they've lost the cover to the battery compartment. I actually wanted to do a video on it first, but they got to it first, so there you go. Takes 4 AAA batteries, and there's 2 modes, mode 1 and mode 2. Now, I just need to go and find a piece of paper, which is something I should have done before starting this video. So here we go. Piece of paper, and this is currently in mode 2. So if I switch it on here, you'll see the lights coming in. And if I flip it over, now this may actually flood the camera sensor and make it all overexposed, but we'll see. Actually, that's not too bad. I think it's all coming kind of white here, but there are 5 LEDs. There's a lilac-y purple one, blue, green, orange, red. And it fires down onto this bit of mirror here, and to see the effect, there we go. Now in the daylight it doesn't look that impressive, but actually genuinely in my children's bedroom it's really quite impressive, the spread of light you get from it. I'm putting some photographs up right now of the room in darkness. So as you can see, it works pretty well. But there is a slight problem with it. And that is, and I'll just switch it off here for a second, and it gradually turns itself off. It only runs for 5 minutes. So there's a button there to turn it on. You press that, 5 minutes later, the kids are loving it, and then they go, Daddy, the rainbow's gone off. Well, they don't talk like that. It's more like, Daddy, the rainbow's gone off. Come in and turn it on. So, and so yeah, that's the problem. And also the difference between mode 1 and mode 2 is hard to tell. As far as I can understand, yeah, mode 1, the lights gradually come on. As you can see there, they're sort of, instead of coming on at once, they come on a few seconds after each other. I'll just turn it off again, so you can see the effect on the paper. Ooh, pretty. So we'll see. Red, orange, green, blue, and violet. There we go. So let's get inside this thing, because I would like to see if there's any way I can change the time it stays on for. I don't think there is. I'm going to assume it's a standard sort of epoxy coated chip running this show, which would be unfortunate. So where should I open up first? Oh yes, also mentioned you can actually power it off the mains if you want to. I think it runs on 5 volts, 6, I don't know, but it can be done. So let's go inside. You may have noticed I've also invested in a rug, because I was sick of screws going flying, at least with a rug that catches them. That being said, I picked a particularly bad colour. I should have got something like light blue or something like that there. So I'll keep an eye out for a rug. And also, some people will say, oh, what about static? And I'm like, well, for what I do, I don't really care. And if I'm working on something valuable anyway, I'd have the static map down. This sort of stuff, I don't really give a damn. If I was working on my radio gear, definitely have the anti-static precautions down. Anti-ESD, electrostatic discharge. If you actually work in a professional workshop, such as mobile phone repair shop, which I've used to do, or any sort of electronics repair shop, before the actual workshop area will be pretty well designed to have anti-ESD mats on all the workbenches, and the floor area will use some kind of a non-static floor covering, and there'll be like tape marks to say where people who aren't wearing anti-static jackets, they kind of look, they're lab coats basically, but they're designed to sort of dissipate static charges so you don't dump them into the stuff you're fixing. So there'll be tape marks to say you have to stay outside this area if you're not wearing a jacket. And also on the way into the workshop there'll be a test station. Ooh, looks quite complicated. Where there'll be a tester and there's a plate, there'll be a metal plate on the floor, and then at head height there'll be a little box with a series of LEDs or an LCD readout. So you'll put your thumb or your hand against the metal plate, put your foot on the floor and press the button, and if electricity flows through you, then you failed and you can't go in. But if you pass, you can sign off and enter the workshop. So there's a little switch there. Yeah, exactly as I thought. It's not epoxied, but it is a chip. Is there any code on that? What's that? Is that a resistor or a capacitor? D2. Ooh, there's some empty plates there. Interesting. But yeah, I was kind of hoping maybe for some sort of resistor or capacitor that was being used as possibly part of a 555 circuit or something like that there. But no, it's all on a chip. And that's unfortunate. That being said, if you go up here, what I'll do is I'll put this back on, because there's a lot of wires going up there. I'll put the switch back. Oh, that's the mains hole, which I'm not going to be using, but I'll shove it back in anyway. Get the feeling it was all kind of crammed in here. I'll just put a quick screw back in, just to make it easier. Now the thing is, we just were the kids for a few days, and then we got rid of it from the kids' bedroom, because either you have two and both kids are happy and they can both press the button, or you have one and you have it sitting in the middle of the room and then they'll go crazy because they want control of it. So, oh, how do I get in there? Can I wing this? Yay, got it. Awkwardly positioned screw. Yeah, I know we can take that off, but I don't want to. Almost there. And will that come off, or do I need to take these two as well? Like, I'm going to do a video soon on obsolescence and products that break down and why. It's going to be a bit more in depth than my usual stuff, but higher production values. Just looking at all the things in our daily lives that where manufacturers have built-in obsolescence into your product. And a lot of the stuff, this cheap stuff you get from the Far East is, yeah, it's completely designed to be obsolete in a reasonable amount of time, and it's not good for recycling. It's not like this plastic. I'm not quite sure what that is, but it doesn't feel like it would be easily recycled. Ooh, this is... How does this come off here? I might need a flathead. There's little things like, you know, how manufacturing has changed. I was looking, there's a UK store chain called Argos. It's in Ireland as well. I'm sure there's similar stores have existed in America and other countries. Oh, this is, and basically they publish a catalogue, and just about every home in the country has a copy of this catalogue, and which you pick up for free. You go into the store, and the store's Spartan basically, apart from a few stands with catalogues, and they might have a handful of products on display. Okay, this is challenging. 1 second, I might have to go off camera to get this off. So yeah, it's not come off completely. It seems to be attached on here. But yes, Argos. Basically, it's a catalogue, and you go and you buy stuff. They sell virtually everything except clothes for some reason. Dishwashers, toys, cameras, laptops, iPads, sports equipment. But yes, so the good thing about it is a lot of people archive the old catalogues and put them online. And I was looking at the 1987 one. And they go back to 1975. The store itself was born out of a savings stamp scheme called the Green Shield stamps, which were cancelled in the mid-70s. And these were the stores where you cashed in the stamps. And so the owner decided to rebrand them and change the format to Argos. But anyway, yeah, so I was looking at the 1987 one, and they didn't have as big a range back then, but they had Black & Decker drills going from £20 up to £50. You take into account inflation in the UK. I'm using UK prices because Argos wasn't in Ireland at the time. That 20 quid would now be 50 quid. And you look at the Argos catalogue, and you can go to the Argos website, argos.co.uk, and you can see just how much you can get for 50 quid now. The drill in 1987 was a very basic, no, the cheapest one was a very basic, single speed, no hammer action, no speed control. And yeah, and the top of the range one wasn't even that fancy. It was these weren't cordless, these were corded. And that had hammer action, 2 speeds. No, they didn't even have the soft speed control as you press the button. But you look at what you can get for the same money today. Like the £50 drill would be worth about, the £50 you would have spent in 87 would be worth about £150 now, and that gets you a professional grade Makita cordless drill. So it's kind of wondering though, just to show how manufacturing has changed, to say that you can, something that was considered fairly basic home grade stuff in the 1980s, the same money now allowing for inflation gets you so much more, and it's that whole sort of a Far Eastern improvement, using Far Eastern factories to make products, and improvements in product design and manufacturing, and also using new materials. It's interesting to see how it has changed, and made products seemingly better, but less reliable, I'd say. Because, that's, anyway, I'm going to talk about it in the video when it comes up. So I just wanted to look at the LEDs. They're fairly simple, bright LEDs, but something, you could easily desolder those and put in some colour changing LEDs for a nice effect, which I might do in another video. So anyway, take care, cheerio, bye bye.